I want to start with the news of the day, the news of the week, which is the debt limit crisis. How confident are you that this gets resolved without both parties looking really, really stupid?
Well, look, I'm pretty confident it will be for two reasons. One is the current shakiness of our economy to begin with. Neither side can have confidence that if, in fact, they were allowed this to go to past the deadline, that it wouldn't have some real serious consequences for our economy and be really hurting Americans on an everyday basis. So they don't have a lot of room for risk here, given the current state of the economy. And secondly, there has been an enormous amount of spending, starting with the Trump administration, working its way all the way through to where we are with the Biden administration. And there is room to be able to reduce spending without doing a lot of harm or damage to anybody. And so I think those two factors make me somewhat optimistic that they'll get it done.
Now, as of the time that we are talking right now, the two sides are very, very, very far apart. If we look what the Republicans are talking about in the House and the amount of restraint on spending and Biden's unwillingness to talk about anything in that environment, what is it that you think forces the change and who blinks first?
Well, look, I think what forces the change is the fact that the deadline will come and the consequences of not meeting the deadline are unknown. And I think that will make them, both sides, very nervous and, more into a situation where they'll be ready to compromise. But also, Ian, I'll tell you that I think that, when you look at these negotiations, typically, everyone takes their absolutist positions. They're gauging in their own mind when they have to move. I don't think there'll be a blink first moment. I think there will be a moment where they both say, all right, I'm going to give you a little bit of what you need. I'm going to give you a little cover for what you need, and we're going to move on. Because, again, as I said in the first answer, the consequences could be so significant and very difficult to undo that I don't think either side wants to take that risk.
Does there at least need to be some level of direct market consequence, actual pain experienced before one or both of those sides starts moving down? Because you're saying it's a fear of the unknown, but right now the unknown doesn't feel so scary.
Well, it depends on where you sit, right? I mean, I think that if you're a person out there right now in the United States who is, experiencing the inflation we've been experiencing, how much more difficult it is to be able to afford to pay your bills over time. The banking crisis has people nervous as well. I don't think you want to put more uncertainty into this economy. So I think it's that will drive them to getting to a conclusion. But obviously, these are human endeavors, and human beings can make mistakes, and we could wind up having that happen. I just don't think it's likely that it will.